Good morning, good evening. In this episode, I have a detailed interview with Sudip Singh, a project manager with a multinational organization who has recently cleared his PMP certification. In the interview, I asked him about his preparation for the PMP certification exam. He also shared a few tips for the preparation. Hope this will be useful for all the PMP aspirants. In this episode, I also have a trivia question. Do you know when was the first computer designed to manage an analytics application for a business and why was it used? And this question is related to a company which was founded in 1885. I will share the answer at the end of the episode. This podcast is now available on multiple platforms. You can get the links in the description area. All right, so let's get started. Hi, welcome all to this podcast with Sudip Singh. I'm going to talk to him about how did he crack the PMP certification exam and also suggestions and strategies as to how should you go about cracking the PMP certification exam in 2021 and on. Hi Sudip,
Hi Abhishek, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. So why don't you
Wonderful.
start by knowing about you? Tell us about yourself.
Sure. So I'm an accomplished program and project manager offering more than 14 years of leadership experience across various domains such as IT project management, USA healthcare industry, client relations, vendor relations, and business operations. I completed my MBA back in 2009, and I'm currently working with an IT giant as a project manager, acting as a global program manager for some major financial banks and institutions in the US. I'm also a Six Sigma Black Belt and a PMP certified professional.
Great, that's pretty impressive, Sudip. Now,
Thank you.
let me take you a little back in your career. So, at what point in
Sure.
time did you decide that you would like to become a project manager?
Okay, so back in 2010, when I learned about the job profile of a project manager, I was at that time working with National Public Radio as a quality analyst. And I realized how it carries a tremendous amount of growth opportunity. The same year, I started gathering more information on how to, get into the shoes of a project manager and where all the responsibilities lie. While I was still educating myself theoretically, I was fortunate enough to land a job as a project manager to manage a World Bank funded project in Bhutan the same year. So that is how I became a project manager.
Okay. What you're saying is in 2010, actually,
Yeah.
you decided to become a project manager, but you didn't immediately go for the certification.
No, no,
You
no.
you actually did your certification last year.
Yes, pretty recently, yes.
So, what was the motivation for going for the certification?
So, as I was mentioning, I landed a job as a project manager, but I realized that I lacked the on job experience required to continue to function as a project manager. Moreover, I was missing on the framework needed to manage such large projects on foreign land, and I used to have nightmares of messing up the project because a lot was riding on the success of the project for all the parties involved. And that is when I started reading about PMP and got myself a hard copy of PMBOK. And I remember, it was back then the fourth edition of PMBOK that I was, referring to. However, apart from the knowledge and expertise with the skills that are required, PMP also provides industry recognition and great networking opportunities around the world. So that is when I realized that, if I go for a PMP certification, I would be welcomed with open arms to any new organization. The certification also gives a considerably higher job security, and a PMP certified project manager commands up to 30% higher salaries. So with all these reasons taken into consideration, I decided to go for a PMP certification. I started preparing for the PMP certification, but yes, I was not able to complete my certification up until last year because many things were keeping me engaged in due course.
Right. So now, once you decided that you're going for the PMP certification, tell us how did you approach the preparation for the certification?
So about the preparation, yeah, I mean, I took my PMP preparation as a project itself. I identified the scope of the project as to what all material I will be studying. I set my milestones as one milestone each for completing the understanding of an individual PM knowledge area and process group, and developed a schedule to complete the study for the PMP certification. I studied judiciously for 3 months at a stretch, which is around 2 hours on weekdays because I was still working, and 6 to 7 hours on weekends when I used to get more time, and referred to external study material from my registered education provider as well as from Rita Mulcahy. I read PMBOK once, practiced the vocabulary to get a good grip on the PMP examination jargon. I made flashcards for inputs, tools, and techniques and outputs, as well as for the formulas, which I kept referring during my travel time and office hours. On the second run with the PMBOK, I started making notes for quick reference and revision. I also painted a mental picture of how different concepts of PMBOK would come together based on real life situations that I faced on a day to day life with my job. And that really helped me connect the dots to get the concepts better. The best thing was that I found a steady partner. We both kept each other in check and ensured that we do not lose the momentum.
Okay. During the preparation, what did you find to be the most difficult?
Okay, so the most difficult part was definitely sticking to the study schedule, because after leaving college, you are not very accustomed with studying on a regular basis. So sticking to the study schedule was definitely one of the most difficult part of the preparation, as well as the part being remembering all the formulas as well as the ITTOs. The exam does not ask you direct questions about the ITTOs, but they would rather give you a scenario as a question. So that is why it becomes more important for you to remember all the ITTOs. Another difficulty I faced was that I found PMBOK to be a very quote unquote dry material. So you have to keep finding ways to make things interesting so that you can retain what you are studying. Best way is to get yourself registered to a registered education provider who would help you learn the subject with ease. You can also try, other free YouTube videos, but let me tell you upfront that not everything is available readily or completely at one place, because these are generally put up by other providers who are trying to draw more candidates, so they do not put everything up for free. So I would suggest that you go and get yourself registered with a registered education provider and get the knowledge all at once at one place and help understand the concepts. That would definitely help you prepare better.
Okay. And how did you find the exam? Was it difficult, or was it taking too much of time in a lot of questions? How was your exam experience actually?
Yeah, I mean, from a difficulty standpoint, definitely it was tough. I mean, PMP is considered to be one of the toughest program management, project management exam. The exam covers a broad spectrum of topics which goes beyond the basics. Many a times the questions will have multiple correct answers and you are expected to choose the best one. So make sure you read the question as well as options carefully before answering that particular question during the exam. The questions are often lengthy and detailed, so I would suggest reading the last sentence of the question first and then reading the rest, as it will help you identify what kind of information is relevant and what is there just to increase the confusion. The questions are tricky and purposely worded strongly to make you think through the concepts. So you need to get used to reading the questions to understand and identify what is being asked. I remember a particular question which asked something in the lines of, your vendor's ship carrying the procured material have got stuck at a seaport due to a storm and it would arrive 15 days late. What would be your action with respect to the project's stakeholders? So this kind of question immediately makes your mind start thinking about the procurement or schedule or stakeholder management. But if you read the last sentence of the question, you will realize that the question is about communication management. So this is how the exam is designed, and yeah, it's definitely a tough nut to crack.
Right, right. But was there any passing percentage which was communicated to you by PMI, or was it published during the exam?
So no, there is no passing percentage that PMI specifies or adheres to. Rather, they mark the candidates on the proficiency level for each of the domains. These proficiency levels are above target, below target, target, and needs improvement. This proficiency level marking helps the candidate to work on their weak areas for earning the PDUs in the future to retain the certification or in case of a re-exam.
So before I let you go, the last question.
Sure.
Any tips for all the aspirants who are preparing for the BMP exam in this year or next coming year?
Sure. So I'm just giving you these tips from my personal experience of what I followed or what I felt was tough for me to accomplish. So the first one is definitely not to procrastinate, because you keep on delaying things, it will keep on getting delayed. So do not procrastinate. Set an exam date, get your head down, and be done with it. First and foremost. Second would be to read the PMBOK cover to cover at least twice. The first time would be to read it. The second time would be to study it. Third one would be to take written test simulators. They not only give you a reality check in terms of your speed and your time management, but they also prepare you to sit at one place for the whole duration of the exam, which many find difficult in real life. Next one would be to create your own study schedule and stick to it instead of following someone else's study approach, because every individual is different and you need to identify what works for you. Then you should be reading and practicing the PMBOK glossary on a daily basis to build up your PM vocabulary, because in the exam, a lot of these glossary terms are used. And if you are not familiar with them, or if you do not understand what they mean, you might actually misread the question itself. Next would be to take up the PMP exam in 3 passes. First pass for the first 1 or 2 hours, depending on the number of questions you are covering up, would be to answer the questions which are short and you immediately know the answer for. During the first pass, you keep marking the questions which are longer, which are scenario or equation based, so that you can review them during the second pass. In the second pass, you should leave around 1 hour of time aside before the exam is over. So during this particular time, you should be solving as many questions you can confidently and mark any questions which you are not sure about. During the last 1 hour, which will be your third pass, you should ensure that every single question is successfully answered to the best of your knowledge or guess. Yes, guesses are required sometimes in PMP exam, because you should not be leaving any single question unanswered, because there is no negative marking. So this is what I followed and I felt helpful during my successful completion of PMP certification.
Right. Those were very practical tips actually.
Thank you,
And
Abhishek.
So thanks a lot. That's all I wanted to discuss with you. Thank you so much, Sudip. It was nice talking to you.
No problem, Abhishek. It was pleasure.
All right, it's time for the trivia question answer. J. Lyons and Company was popular worldwide for cakes, tea, and sandwiches. It was established in 1885. From a very modest beginning, the company went on to become the largest food company in Europe. It became a household name for Joy Lyons corner houses and tea shops, and also nippy waitresses. However, the rapid growth also brought in challenges. The bakery products were perishable, the stores were either running out of products or there was wastage at the end of the day. In 1953, Lyons Electronic Office designed the first computer to manage an analytics application for their bakery in the United Kingdom. This application helped them to predict near accurate sales numbers for cakes and sandwiches, which helped them in avoiding waste or running short of the products. This helped the company in saving money and gaining more customers. The company went on to grow further and became really big till 1977 when it started to get into trouble. Finally, it was acquired in 1978 by Elite Breweries. Hope you enjoyed the trivia question and the answer. See you in the next episode. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.